Hello, welcome to our Power Hour. This is a regular for us at Light to Love. I have my teams where we do every Monday a Power Hour. I just finished with my previous one between 7 and 8. That's only for my members on a specific program every Monday night. It's an inspiring session where they learn something new and get inspired. And many people would just love to get to know the other people on the community, although this is the only way where they see each other is on our Monday evenings, but it becomes like a community who supports each other in the same direction. So I'm Ilzé. I'm a nutrition and lifestyle coach. I'm working on that for being on this journey for about 22 years. I started out in 2004 when my kids were very young and more in hospital than out of that because of allergies and grommets and infections and all types of things. And my husband was diagnosed with arthritis, and it's when I was admitted to ER with severe abdominal pain, and they figured out it was IBS. Then I said to him, I don't think we will see 50 if we carry on like that. And we went on holiday with a book and a lifestyle plan, a 12-week training and eating right program, and we started there. And within 2 weeks, both of us felt better, and we came back from holiday lighter and more energized. And that made me realize something is cooking here. I can investigate more, and I did. And as a result of that, I love to do research. Hello, Denise. Welcome. Um, and as a result of my research, I figured out that I could help my kids heal from all their allergies and their sinus drips and all of that, and as well as my husband's arthritis and my IBS reversed. And I kept on researching and eventually studied in nutrition and brain development for the little ones as they went through school, and then in autoimmune diseases and all types of health related stuff. So eventually, it led me to develop a program where I help people to improve their health, but also the good side effect of a healthy body is your body's weight start to drop and it gets to a normal space. And this is what tonight's session is all about. So how do you lose weight the healthy way so that you never have to be on a diet again? At Like to Live, we don't do diets. That's something of the past. We love to eat and enjoy our food, and all my recipes in my books are designed around eating and enjoying lovely South African food. So let's start from the very beginning. I'm going to share my screen with you. Our slogan at Like to Live is rewrite your story, and that's exactly what we did as a family. And since we did that in 2004, I've helped many people doing that for themselves and their families as well. So welcome tonight. If that's your first Power Hour, I hope this is your inspiration session for this week. So we believe in transforming your life to live a lighter life. We are not designed to carry this heavy load of poor health and being in pain and overweight and all of that baggage, with the emotional baggage that comes with that. We are designed to live light and have joy in life. So let's start with the definition of weight and overweight and obesity. So that is where they use the BMI, and it's basically just a ratio between your height and your weight, and it's not an accurate measurement whether you are in a healthy space with your weight or not, because if you're a weight training people, then your muscle mass is much more than a person who's sedentary. So it's not a good measurement, but that's what the World Organization uses. So if your BMI is between 18.5 and 25, then you're in the normal range, and above 20 to under 30, it's overweight, and then over 30 BMI is obese. So just to give you an idea what is going on in the world, That was a picture of Miami, Florida in America in 1969. Can you see any person there that's overweight? Why is that? That in 1969, that was the normal. And today, if we look at the population, hello, level, welcome. If we look today at a beach full of people, then more than 80% is overweight or in the obesity category. So what changed since 1969? And maybe the best indication is this was the profile of people, obese people in 1971. You can see there was no red areas at all. So 25% to 30% of the population being obese, there was none. There was only, I think that's Turkey. In 1971, that was the highest population of obesity was there, but it was still less than 15%. So now something's changed, and I'm going to play a video for you just to give you an idea to play the video, and um, you can watch the graphs as it continue with the years, as the years go on, what happened to people, obesity in the world. 1975, that was a picture in 1975, and this is what happened. You can see in the Middle East, and Russia was the first place to become more obese, and then America kicked in, and again in the Middle East, because of sodas. It's cheaper in the Middle East to buy sodas than to drink water. So the cool drinks was the culprit. And again, here comes Africa and South Africa in the 2000s. And now the whole world is in trouble. It's only Africa and a little bit of India. And now even the same thing is happening in the rest of the world. So, um, so what is the reason behind this whole world population that's going in the obese direction? And the main thing is, since 1971, the food industry changed. So if you ever felt it's your fault because you are struggling with weight, then today you can give yourself permission and tell yourself it's not my fault. I I wasn't a lazy person, or you maybe have a sugar addiction or something like that, but that's because there's an industry behind that wants you to be addicted to sugar or to whatever crisps or whatever is your favorite, that puts you in that position that your body it's not working for your body. So that was 1971, and that is now 2014, and you can see it's only becoming worse and worse. With the GLP-1s, they stopped the rise of the obesity, but with that is a few other factors that again kicked in. But that was the picture then, and this is the picture now. And if the whole world goes in one direction, then we should ask the question, what happened since then and now? And then COVID, as if it was not bad enough, then this is a stats from America. The average American puts on an extra 13.2 kilograms of weight, which they didn't lose. So they didn't lose that extra weight, and the same for the rest of the world. COVID was a tipping point for the world with weight and obesity, because what happened in COVID, we baked cookies and we baked bread and we stopped training. And our whole routine and habits changed in COVID times. And that led to all this weight and stress. Many of us are stress eaters. So stress also led to more junk food. Nobody chewed carrots while they were stressed. So it was the crisps and the stuff. So the ultra-processed foods, there was a whole industry born in the 70s in America and in South Africa a bit later. But this ultra-processed foods are actually the culprits, especially the sodas. So what happens when we eat processed foods, and it's not for all of us, it's the same like alcohol and drugs and things like that. Not everybody who takes a sip of wine becomes an alcoholic. And the same is true of sugar and bread and all of and crisps. You don't become an immediate addict, but it hijacks your brain. It has the potential to hijack your brain and to say it's never enough, that you can finish the whole bag of crisps or the cookies. For me, condensed milk, that's my weakest point. Don't bring that into my house because I can finish a can of condensed milk in a few minutes and then I feel terrible. But the logic, like knowing that I will feel terrible, doesn't help. So that first bite is already the problem. So when our brains are hijacked, it just means that the willpower is out of the door. And then we need to do something else to get our power back over all these processed foods. And addiction starts with anything that you can't say no to. And if you're honest with yourself and ask your question, what is that one thing that's so difficult for me to say no to? And maybe it's sugar, maybe it's bread, maybe it's both, or maybe it's savory snacks like crisps. You know that cheese puffs, for instance, all the chips are designed that way. They are created in a lab to trigger your brain so that when you taste that cheese puffs on your tongue, that flavor just lingers long enough so that you get that dopamine spike in your brain. Say, yes, I love it, but it doesn't stay long enough so that your body can say, I've had enough. And that's why we can eat a whole packet of cheese puffs, and it's just so easy to eat because it's also ultra processed food, which means it's a soft food. So soft foods can taste crunchy. Like if you take a bite of a Pringle, it's crunchy in your mouth, but at the second bite, it's mush. So easy to eat. You don't get the same experience with a carrot. It's difficult to chew a carrot, and green beans even more so. It takes some effort, but you don't get that dopamine spike from every bite that you take. So the solution is really to help our brains to down regulate that dopamine spike so that we can get back to a normal space where your body is used to what is supposed to get, not this constant spike. It's exactly the same as with drugs. We become addicted to drugs when you get dopamine spikes too much that your body are designed for. So we have to lower our baseline insulin levels and down regulate our dopamine receptors to normal back again. So, and then on the other side, and this was what many diets are not focused on, is to upsize your nutritional density, the excellence of your food, so that your body gets a proper nutrition in the cells, so that your body don't send signals to you constantly, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. A body that is undernourished will always send signals that I'm hungry. And then we grab a bar one or something like that and think that will help, but it doesn't silence that message that your body needs nutrients in the cells. So okay, so this is the two steps. The first step is the solution to weight loss and food addiction is to downregulate that dopamine spike that we constantly get, and on the other side, upsize our nutrient density in our foods. And this is exactly what I do for my clients, is to help them to get maximum nutrients in the cells, but not maximum calories, nutrients, micronutrients. So then the question is, which diet is the best? Is it keto? Is it Banting? Is it carnivore? Is it high fat and low carb, or Mediterranean or vegan? There are so many diets. And a diet is one thing. I don't believe in diets at all because diets are usually you get bored with that. Sometimes very expensive, like carnivore, keto, or Banting. Those diets are really expensive to sustain in the long run. You had to eat a lot of expensive foods. And then you only play when you look at fats, carbs, and proteins, you only look at three nutrients. But in the world of nutrition, there's a million pieces of the puzzle. So now we focus on three pieces and we think we have the picture, but we don't. We need to focus on the whole spectrum of nutrients, micronutrients that your cells need. Your cells need more than just macros. Your cells need micronutrients as well. So when we're on a diet, the moment I have to tell myself I'm on a diet and I hate diets, is that I feel hungry. Just telling myself I have to go on a diet or I should diet or whatever. Shoulds are always connected to shame. I should do this and I should do that. And it's actually you don't want to do that and you feel shameful that you couldn't do that. And it's just a negative spiral thing to do. But if I say I want to be a healthy person so that I can live a better life without pain, that want is connected to joy. I will become a grandparent for the first time in a few month's time, and I'm really looking forward to that, to play with that little one and have the energy to play with a little baby and a young kid and be energized and have no aches and pains, and that I can actually spend my money on adventures instead of spending it on doctor's visits and medication. So the cycle of dieting is always, I can't have what I want. I want this, but now I have to eat that, and this is very bland. Steamed broccoli and bland chicken is doesn't excite anybody. So and that's where the binge cycling begins because you get so fed up with the same thing. Diets just doesn't work, and then you have this constant food noise in your mind because you are craving this one thing, but you have to eat something else. And the moment you drop that diet, it's all engines burning for that the wrong food. So this is just a bad cycle to be in. And to be perfectly honest, only 1% of people, this is statistics, who's been on diets can sustain that for a lifetime and keep the weight off. So who wants to go on a diet if you have a 99% chance of not losing any weight in the long run? So there's a better way for that. So what happens when we go off a diet, up the next diet, off the next diet, is we end up in crash and burn zone. And this is where everything goes very dark in your mind and in your whole being, is that I'm not happy when I'm dieting. I'm not happy when I'm not dieting. I always feel guilty. I live with guilt and shame all the time. And it's so difficult when I fall off the wagon, then it's difficult to get back on. I will try next Monday. So why is it so difficult? And eventually, and I've heard so many people tell me, I will never succeed. Maybe I'm that fat lady. I'm supposed to stay fat. That's not the truth. You basically doom yourself to failure and maybe try once again. But why is life so hard? Is it only me that is failing myself? So a lot of shame in this crash and burn zone, and we want to get out of that. That's not a place to stay. You're not designed to live in that. So let's talk about a bit about this GLP-1 craze that we are now currently on with Ozempic and all of that. So GLP-1 is a hormone that is in your system. It's not just in that high amount that you injected yourself with, but it's a hormone that's made in your gut, your digestive system, and it sends a signal to your brain that I'm satisfied, I'm full. So there's a gut-brain connection, and your gut is called your second brain. So they are constantly talking, and that's also one of our topics in our program is the gut-brain connection. So GLP lowers your blood sugar and releases insulin, and it reduces the hormone glucagon that raises the blood sugar. It keeps your blood sugar levels lower, and it slows down the digestion. So the stomach, the food stays in the stomach for a bit longer, and it reduces your appetite. So you're not that hungry all the time. Your brain gets the message, I'm not hungry, so you eat less and then you feel satisfied sooner, and that helps people to lose weight. So that sounds very simple. So what is the pros and the cons? So obviously, if you eat less calories, there will be an impact, but it stabilizes blood sugar control, which helps for people like diabetes. It was eventually in the beginning, it was designed for diabetes patients, so it helps with blood sugar control. And then diabetes patients have a real threat when they're overweight. So It's excellent for them to lose weight, so that helps with that. It calms the food noise because you're not hungry. Actually, you're not hungry at all, and it improves your health markers. So for some people, and I have quite a few number of clients who said to me that the GLP just didn't do anything for them because the problem wasn't the food noise or wasn't blood sugar control. They didn't eat enough. So they had different reasons why their body put on weight, but it was not the food noise to start with. So GLP didn't help for them. But for many people, as we see, it is really a starter. And then, but the side effects is nausea and vomiting, and many people just totally lose their joy of eating. So they nibble on food, but they don't have that joy of eating again. And for some, it's diarrhea and constipation because it has a direct impact on your gut. It's a hormone that impacts your gut and your brain. So many people feel bloated and uncomfortable. There's also the more severe risks like pancreatitis and gallbladder issues. I had one young lady, I think she's in her early 30s, who lost her gallbladder. Um, and she wanted to lose 10 kilos. Um, yeah, she had maybe to lose 10 kilos, and then because she lost her gallbladder, she ends up with operation, and her gallbladder was removed, and she lost 30 kilos. So she looked like skin and bones. But the interesting thing about her situation was that she was so afraid to pick up even 1 kilo, but she was really looking like a very a person like in very severe problems with her being 20 kilos underweight, but she had so much issues in her mind of picking up weight and just getting healed because the wound would not heal. She was 5 months post her operation and the wound would still not heal. And eventually she said to me, no, she's too scared to eat. So I could not put her on a proper program. And she didn't start it. But I'm quite worried about her because of the mental noise and the fear to pick up weight again. So yes, the statistics that shows after 1 year and I think 3 months, that's the baseline. Then the receptors in your brain that accepts GLP-1 also adapt to this higher levels and it shuts down, just as it does with dopamine with too much sugar. Your receptors start to shut down just as it does with drugs. So you need more and more and more to get the same effect. And obviously this is not for free. So the cost of using GLP-1s is quite high. And you have to carry on with that if you want to see long-term results. And as you increase your doses to have the same results, the risk with all the side effects also increases. So there's a real cost, a physical cost, but also a health cost that you should take into account if you consider that. Now, my approach on GLP-1 is if a person is on GLP-1, see that as your Kickstarter. And not the be all and end all of your journey. Maybe you just needed that to lose your first 5 or 10 kilos, but then to work on a system strategy to change your lifestyle because you can't stay eating the way that you did before you were on GLP-1, but created the problem of the ultra-processed foods and expect to live a healthy lifestyle, to live in a healthy body that is slim. That will not work. You will not be in a healthy body. You could be losing weight a lot, but eating the same junk food will not benefit you. So then we overweight and undernourished is basically we are in starvation. Our cells are starving if we eat ultra processed foods, but our bodies look as if we are feasting. And it's just on the outside, but on the inside, our bodies are starving for real proper food. So we should focus on getting out of this whole cycle of starvation. And what happens, and this is the latest, I recently read this about the GLP-1s is you're losing bone density and muscle mass. It's not as much fat as it is also muscle mass and bone density, and the 30% higher increase of osteoporosis for people on GLP-1 if they don't change their lifestyle. So you need to change your lifestyle if you want a long-term result with a healthy body. So now let's look at what can be a possible better way if you want to integrate GLP-1 with that and see that as your kickstart into your new lifestyle. When you lose your first 10 kilos, you will feel so satisfied with yourself and maybe have a bit more energy, and then start with a very definite mental and physical coaching program where you can change the way you think about food and lifestyle. And starting to ask the big questions. What was the real reasons behind my weight gain in the first place? And maybe it was stress, like 10 years ago, you went through a whole trauma or something, and you were a stress eater, and that was your saving grace at that time. But then the life moved on, and now it's not the same situation anymore. So, what is the reason behind the weight gain, and what is the possible solution to that? And then to work on a strategy plan to embark on a healthy lifestyle that don't only look at the food, but also at your stress levels, at your habits, at how you view life, detox your mind, all of those. And then eventually weaning yourself off GLP-1 because it's not natural to your body. It is still something that is, your body was designed for a specific amount of GLP-1, not the amount that we inject in ourselves. So to work towards a place where you can get rid of that eventually and have a healthy life and lose the weight systematically and consistently. So let's talk about getting real results. Why do thin, lean people stay lean and some of us don't? What is the reason behind that? What do we need to do differently? And I know I'm through menopause as well. Menopause is brutal. You wake up one morning and you can't believe that you have changed so much. And especially going through menopause in COVID times with the added stress, that was brutal. So for anybody in menopause, that's just a season that needs a lot of extra grace. But many times people go through the same things, and some people do well and others struggle. So what is the why behind that? To ask the difficult questions and say, why do I want to change in the first place? And this is for many dieters the whole thing. I will try next Monday. And maybe we've been trying too long. Trying never gets us long-term results. Trying is doing it in silence, and if you fail, nobody knows about that. And I've seen so many people who said to me they've been on diets and diets and diets and diets and been trying that, but trying don't give you results, because trying is an attempt to see with as little effort as I can put into to have some results. So if I can just wake up one morning and the weight was off, that my life would be perfect. I don't have to change anything. I will just be on a diet until then, and then I can go back. But it doesn't work like that. So this minimal commitment won't last for a lifetime. So training on the other side is a wholehearted commitment to achieve a specific result. If you think about it's now tennis and all these fit people, they have brutal training sessions, but they commit to that because they have a bigger why they want to do that. And then they get coaches and trainers. They know how to play tennis. Djokovic know exactly how to play tennis. Why do they still have coaches and trainers? It's because a person on the outside can see where you need some extra support that you can't see. And maybe they have some extra skills that we don't have. So at the moment you commit to a training program of some sort, and where there's structure, then you start to see results because you plan everything and you have to show up for that. just going to a bike and it assists in the winter is a challenge, but it shows up. So in training, you get ready, you get your things that's necessary, you get set, you have a game plan, and then you're ready to go and you have to start training. You have to show up at your first training session at the gym or whatever you decided to train for. But training means ready, set, go. So training is the way how you build healthy habits. And this is exactly what we do in Light to Live. Is I help my clients with training to achieve the goals that they want. And our meal plan is only one part of the training. It's not the only thing. So before you start to train, you have to get all the knowledge that you need to make proper decisions and then get a system like the menu plan, a recipe book, planning and prepping. When people sign up for my program, they don't just sign up today and tomorrow, they start with day one. We have a specific way that we address the whole issue of starting out. So day one is never on a Monday. It's always on a Wednesday or a Thursday because we have a strategy plan behind that and it works. So by day 10, most of my clients are over the moon that they could have stick to that. But there's reasons for everything. And this is where the knowledge and the systems and everything comes into play. Okay, so then get set, get the coach. The more support you get on your journey, the better your chances of success. So once and for all, get the proper system, get the proper support before you say yes to something new again. You don't want to fail yourself. Rather say yes to one proper thing than to try many different things and it doesn't work. So a coach with a strategy and an action plan, that helps. That really helps you to move forward. And I just had today, I had a meeting with one of my clients, a lady in her 30s with 3 children, and she said to me, she wanted to move faster through her program, but she said to herself, I'm a mum with 3 kids. I don't have the luxury of time and everything, so but I will give my best to make the best decisions. And now she's passed her third session, her first topic, and she said to me, I've lost 6 kilos. I feel so much better. I have so much more energy. And the food noise and my mind start to calm down. She recently had a birthday. She had a birthday cake. And she said, I didn't overeat myself on sugar and stuff because the noise was gone. So that's the type of results that I want. I don't want any of my clients to quit on life and sit on the boundaries and just say I can't mingle in life anymore because I'm on this diet. That's never the plan. So, and then to get go. So in my programs, I have group programs, I have personalized programs, I have self-study programs. It depends on what's your need to move forward, but all of them have the same focus, they have the same foundation and the same focus on results. So it just depends on what is your view on how do you want to do life. Okay, and then the commitment is a process, and during all our programs, it's a process how you challenge your comfort zone because you will never get results if the comfort zone stays the same. There's a reason why the comfort zone is your biggest enemy because in the comfort zone, you don't have to think, you can just eat whatever you like. And this usually that whatever we like, that's the problem. And then follow through with decisions. You've made the decision, you commit yourself. Now it's follow through with an action plan. And then trying is a choice, but training is a mindset. And especially when there's somebody on the other side who waits for you, have appointment with you, it puts you a whole new perspective on life and how you do this lifestyle thing. It's not you on your own anymore. It's a mindset. You sign up for it. So we work for, this is one of our values, is consistency, progress above perfection. Most people, when they start out with a new diet, they expect themselves to be perfect. And the moment they set one foot wrong, then it's a train smash and everything is wrong with me and I can't stick to the program. But it's more like learning to walk. You know, if every baby who fell for the first time trying to walk have the same attitude that I will never walk and it's too difficult and babies won't walk. But they see their parents walk and they say, okay, that's possible. And they walk and fall and get up and walk again. And this is exactly what it is. When you are learning a new lifestyle and new recipes and new menus, it's not going to go smooth. And I don't expect my clients to be perfect. I'm actually worried if they tick the box, I'm a perfectionist, because I know then they're going to make life hard on themselves. So we work with a lot of grace and we focus on perfection and not we don't focus on perfection, we focus on progress. So one step ahead, even if you don't have perfect days, that you move forward. So all or nothing doesn't work. Nature doesn't work like that. Nothing in life works like that. So why do we expect ourselves to be all in or all out? You have a life to live. Right, and then successful people do consistently what others do occasionally. The difference between a professional player and an amateur. If you play golf once in a year, the results will show in your golf, but when you train every day, the results will show as well. And this is the whole thing about my programs is at Light to Live is that we are consistent moving forward and consistently training our people little bit by little bit how to do this new lifestyle so that it's not overwhelming. We don't dump the information on them and say, come back in a month. It's a weekly meeting where you commit to, or if you can't attend it, watch the recording, and then you see the results little bit by little bit. Your brain changes in the way you think and how you look and how you do things. So the outcome versus your identity, we also look at that because most people, if I lose 10 kilos, I will be a different person living in a different body. I will feel differently. And if my identity as a thin person doesn't align with who I am, then I will just go right back to where I was. So we also work on aligning your process with the person who you become. So that when you arrive at that 40 kilos on that picture that you saw of my client, then you're comfortable with that. And we take it slowly so that your mind and your body can adjust to this new person that you are becoming, so that the transformation can be a perfect one. If you think at this worm, it never thought could become this beautiful butterfly, but it had to transform, but went through a whole process on the inside to transform on the outside as well. And this is also part of our programs. So my question to you is, what do you want to be by December 2026? We're in the middle of the year. There's quite a few months left. What do you want to say about 2026 at the end of the year? And usually winter is for most people an obstacle. After winter, I have to get back into my summer clothes and I feel terrible. I'm exhausted after winter. It does not need to be that way. You can exit this winter stronger and healthier and leaner. And this is my question for you that you can ask yourself. Where do I want to be by December? What is the picture that I have for myself? So this is Esther. She struggled with cerebral edema, pressure on her brain, and it always led to severe migraines. And she's not a sissy. She was really a strong woman, a mom who homeschooled her kids and a doer. But that migraines really hit her hard. She ended up in hospital several times. And in 2024, I think it was in March 2024, when she was in hospital again, then the doctor said to her, you can't do anything more to her. Maybe she should try to lose weight. And at that stage, she came to me and said, I'm all in. And she was in. And her goals was to lose 40 kilos and become pain-free and improve her health. And that's exactly what Esther did. We worked out the strategy plan, set the menus up, And she started to follow that, and we had our meetings, and Esther was just nailing it. Keeping her focus. By October that year, she already lost 28 kilos. Within the first few weeks, the migraines went and it never returned back. So the win on the health side was just fantastic. And she was energized, healthy. During part of the process, I teach my clients how to design their own menus. So she did that. She had her own birthday party, baked her own cake. She sent me all the photos, all the healthy stuff. And just amazing how she just embraced this whole system and make it work. And she had the family with two teenagers and a husband who drinks Coke and eats sweets. So and she just put her head down and said, that's not my food anymore. And this is Esther. I met her last year in December. I saw her again, and I was just amazed. I said to her, Esther, my goodness, she's on a goal weight and going strong. She transformed the whole garden. Strawberries at the front door, raised beddings and spinach and all kinds of veggies and stuff in herbs in a garden. It's just so interesting to hear her talk about this new life. So energized. Even a mango tree. Now, if you can grow a mango tree in Bloemfontein, you're a gifted person, but I think she's gifted. But yes, Esther is such a good example of being a energized, healthy woman. Lost 40 kilos. That was just the good side effect of living a healthy lifestyle. And this is my dream for for everybody. My big dream is to transform South Africans into healthy people and support them, that we can become healthy communities, that you don't have that risk of heart disease or cancer or whatever above your head. So to give you an idea what we do, this is our website. So you can go and look at that. We have also recently added frozen foods to our plans, but we have three different plans. We have self-study plans, abundant health, weight loss, and menopause programs. We have the Year of Your Life program, and this is what it is. It's a group program. We start on 15 June. Our first session is on that Monday. And with that, you get a whole recipe book. You can expect to get to optimal health, improve your energy, get pain-free, and learn new healthy habits. So you get the electronic recipe book with a lot of lovely recipes, healthy foods, stews and soups, and very delicious foods. And the main thing about all my foods is it's tested by men and children in South Africa. My husband always tell me this one will go to the recipe book, not that one. You have to try it again. So um, I've worked with a lot of children at a school, so they've been testing all my recipes. I have brownie recipes and a lot of snacks and lovely food as well. So and lovely breakfasts. So depending on what is my clients need, that's what we work on. So there's 8 topics that we cover with our journey. It's 4 is about nutrition. We talk about gut health, acidity, nutritional excellence, and then I teach them how to design their own menu plan. And then we have stress awareness, detox your mind, and also plan for not falling back in the future. Where are we going to? We work on a maintenance plan and healthy habits. This is over a spectrum of a year. You can do it over a whole year, or you can do it every week. It depends on what's your time frame, but we have 8 sessions, that's connection sessions. And then we have 12 extra sessions in our group program where, like Monday nights, where it's inspirational. Like tonight, we had a talk about sleep and a bit more information about why sleep is so important. So it's topics that's related to your health, but it's not part of your core topics. It's just add-ons and extra inspiration. So then system support for 365 days. So this is the goal. And you set your goal. There's the knowledge. I bring the science to the table. We design a strategy, and then there's systems for success. that helps you to improve, and then also accountability, consistency, and we celebrate successes. Every week you have an accountability form to complete every week, where we measure your energy, your sleep, your digestive system, migraines, body aches or pains or not, and also your emotional health. Do you feel anxious? Do you feel content? Are you satisfied with yourself? So all of that we measure, and then we look at where do we make progress. So this is monthly membership is 450 Rand for 12 months, or if you want to pay it upfront, it's 4,500, where you get 2 months free. So this is the group program. Then we have a personalized program. Everything's the same as with the group program. All the sessions is the same, except that I work for every client a personal menu plan, and we have personal sessions. So it's not group sessions, we have personal sessions. You have access to the group sessions, but you have additional 8 sessions with me where we look at the specific problem. So if you maybe have cancer or a heart disease or diabetes, then I work a menu plan out for you with the recipe book and all the meal plans and whatever is the challenge. There's specific session times that you can book with me. So that's the difference between the group one and the personal one. Is just added to that is extra personal consultation sessions. And I work with who's in your family, how many people do you have to feed, and all of that. We combine a personalized program. So exactly the same outcome that we want, but there's the cost of the personal program. You can pay it off in 3 months, 6 months, or 10 months. And if you want to pay the full amount, that is the full amount. But I think if you look at the health costs nowadays, it's not a patch in the, yeah, it's just a drop in the bucket if you look at health costs today. So my challenge for you is, what is your vision for yourself for the end of the year? And what is the priority it has, your health and your wellness and your, if you want to address the weight loss, what is your priority for yourself this winter? Because if you can do it right now in winter, this with all the soups, you can have a lovely winter with all the lovely recipes there are. But you can also exit this winter stronger and ready for spring. And then by December, you will be so glad that you did it. So, yes, any questions at this stage? You can raise your hand and ask a question. If you want to have a personal call with me, you can I will send out the link afterwards. It is a 15-minute call that you can book with me on my diary, and we can have a discussion. What is the best strategy plan for you? Would it be a self-study program, a group program, or a personalized program? I have only limited spaces for personalized programs. Of course, it takes a lot of my time, but yes, so it depends on where do you want to go. Right. Thanks a lot for joining me today. And you are welcome to connect with me tomorrow on my diary. Book a time slot for yourself and talk to me. I would love to see you then. Thanks a lot, ladies. Have a beautiful evening.
Thank
See
you,
you
Ilzé.
again.